Today we're going to be tying a Wobble Bugger, a modified woolly booger that's easy to tie. Place the hook in the vise and attach the tying thread. Point toward the rear of the hook, make a few wraps, cut off the tag end, then continue to wrap the thread to a point opposite the barb of the hook. This is the tie-in point. Next we're going to tie in a tail of marabou. Select a marabou fiber and measure it against the shank of the hook. The tail should be about the length of the shank of the hook. Attach this with the soft loop technique, bind down, cut off the excess material, and bind down the butt ends. Bring the thread back to the tie-in point. Next, select a grizzly hind hackle tied in by the tip with the shiny side facing you. Once it's bound down, bring the tying thread back to the tie-in point. You can strip the fibers back out of the way so you don't bind down any excess fibers. Next, select a piece of pearl chenille about 6 inches long. Pull about a 1/4 inch of the fuzz off the end of the chenille, and this should reveal a couple of strands of thread. Tie the chenille in by the thread. Once it's tied down, wind the tying thread to the eye of the hook. Be sure to leave plenty of room at the eye of the hook, approximately 1/4 inch, for the foam that we'll be attaching later. Next, take the chenille and wrap forward to the eye in touching turns. This forms a body. No part of the shank should be left exposed. Tie off the chenille, clip off the excess. Wrap the hackle with the shiny side forward toward the eye in open, non-touching turns. This is called palmering. Wrap to the same point where the chenille was tied off and tie off the hackle. Trim the excess material. Form a small, neat head and whip finish. This is essentially an unweighted woolly booger. Next, we're going to add the wobble. Take a strip of foam approximately 6 millimeters thick and 1/4 inch wide. Cut it in half at a 45-degree angle and take a bodkin and place a hole approximately 3/8 of an inch up from the long edge. Next, reattach the tying thread at the rear of the fly at about the tie-in point. Trim off the tag end. Next, we're going to apply a drop of super glue at the head of the fly. I like to use medium super glue. We're going to take our prepared foam and we're going to insert the foam over the eye of the hook. Once it's in position, fold it back over the back of the fly and tie off. Use your large whip finisher. Whip finish and cut off the tying thread. Don't worry about binding down some of the fibers. You can always pull them out later. It really doesn't make a lot of difference. This is essentially the finished fly. You can put a drop of cement on your thread or thin super glue, whichever you prefer, and then cut off the tail. The tail should be cut off right at the bend of the hook or slightly behind it. The fly could be fished like this, however, I like to add doll's eyes. To add the doll's eyes, put a small drop of glue. Again, I'm using medium super glue on either side of the head of the fly. It helps to have an indexing vise when you do this. Take a 3mm doll's eyes available at any craft store and carefully place one eye over the drop of glue. Position it with your fingers and press down so that it adheres tightly to the foam. Turn the fly over and repeat the process on the opposite side. Try to get the eyes even, it makes it look better. Try not to get the glue on your fingers. Here's the finished Wobble Bugger. And here's a nice boundary water smallmouth that fell for the Wobble Bugger in May of 2012.